You know that feeling when you get a yes that kind of feels like a no? Well, today we're diving into a super fascinating and sometimes, let's be honest, frustrating cultural quirk, the art of the Brazilian no, and why just being direct can actually backfire. And this quote, it just gets right to the heart of it, doesn't it? It's that feeling of being totally out of sync, even in your own culture, when the social rules aren't written down anywhere. I mean, it's such a confusing feeling, right? You say one thing, but you can just tell the other person is hearing something completely different. We've all been there, especially when different cultures mix. All right, so let's decode this complex social game together. We're going to pull back the curtain on all the unwritten rules so you can finally understand what's really being said. Okay, so let's get right into the core concept here. In Brazil, saying no isn't just a simple word. It's more like a performance, one that's all about keeping the peace and not offending anyone. Right, so here's the key thing to get about the social game. It's all about softening the blow. It's a way to keep things friendly by wrapping a rejection in layers of politeness, maybe giving a little excuse, or even leaving a tiny bit of hope for the future. And this right here is the fundamental difference. For a lot of us, a direct no is just efficient. It saves everyone time. But in Brazil, that same directness can feel really cold or blunt or, yeah, just plain rude. This is where so many misunderstandings begin. So, how does this actually look in the real world? Let's get practical and talk about how to read between the lines in a totally normal conversation. Okay, let's paint a picture with a super common scenario. You ask someone out, or you suggest making plans. The reply you get sounds pretty positive, but it also feels a little vague. They almost never say no outright. I mean, you've probably heard phrases exactly like these. They sound so encouraging, don't they? Let's schedule something, or we should totally do something. But what they're really hiding is pretty interesting. And this is basically the decoder ring you need. What you hear is someone saying they're interested, but what it can often mean is a very, very gentle no thank you. It's a rejection designed to protect your feelings. So, here's a super simple rule of thumb to remember. If the reply doesn't lock in a specific day, a time, or a place, it's probably a polite no. No details usually means no interest. Now, what's really fascinating is that this isn't just about dating. It's big with friendships, too. If a friend invites you somewhere and you just say, can't make it, they might actually think you're mad at them. You're kind of expected to give a reason to show you still care about them. And look, if you think the social stakes are high with friends, just wait. Because when this game moves into the professional world, the consequences can seriously impact your career. All right, let's shift gears and talk about work. In a Brazilian office, being social can be just as important as how well you do your job. And saying no to the wrong event isn't just a little awkward, it can be a huge career mistake. So you gotta know this word, confraternizações. These are those office parties and happy hours. Now, the invitation might say optional, but let me tell you, the unwritten rule is that showing up is socially mandatory. And yeah, the cost of not playing along, it can be really steep. You can get labeled as antisocial or not a team player. And that's not just about feelings. It can mean getting passed over for a promotion or even being the first one they think of when layoffs happen. The stakes are absolutely real. You know, for a lot of young people just starting their careers, this is a lesson they often learn the hard way. You figure out real fast that being part of that social, outgoing office culture is a huge part of surviving and getting ahead. So all of this really brings us to a much bigger, more universal question, right? When you find yourself in a culture with these unspoken rules that just don't click with your personality, what do you even do? And let's be clear, this is not just a Brazilian thing. Think about the indirectness of Southern charm in the US or the complex social rules in Japan. Every single culture has its own set of these unwritten codes you just have to figure out. And when it comes down to it, you're really left with two basic choices. You can adapt, bend your style a little bit to fit in and keep things running smoothly. Or you can just be 100% yourself and be ready to deal with whatever social static that might create. There's really no right answer here, just the one that's right for you. But here's the thing. Whether you decide to adapt or just be yourself, the most important part is just understanding the signals in the first place. Once you know the rules of the game, that's when you have the power to choose how you want to play. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. What about where you live, in your own culture, your city, maybe even just your office? What are those unspoken rules that everybody just kind of knows? Figuring those out is the key to, well, pretty much everything.